Welcome to Euro Hockey Hub. I'm privileged to be joined today by none other than number 7, and that is Steinbach Black Wings Linz legend, Brian Lebler. Thanks for joining me.
I appreciate it.
So, Brian, I wanted to ask, you were born in Austria in Klagenfurt. Your father was a professional ice hockey player and had played in Austria himself for many years.
Yeah.
Things must have started off in Austria with your hockey foundations, but how did that all come about, and when did you move to North America?
Yeah. So I was born in Klagenfurt, and then we moved back to Canada when I was about 4 years old. My dad went and played for Fila for 3 years and Salem Say for 1 year, and then we moved back. But yeah, I mean, I have two older brothers, one younger brother, and with my dad playing professional hockey, it was kind of inevitable that we were all going to play. So watching my older brothers play, and then it was my turn to play minor hockey and stuff, and we were always playing street hockey. So it was kind of a big part of our family and a big part of my childhood growing up. But yeah, so in minor hockey as well, a lot of the years my dad was our coach growing up, and so I owe a lot to him for where I am today in the sense of hockey, and I've learned almost everything in my career from him, and I couldn't be more thankful for it. But yeah, so and then after minor hockey, I played 2 years of junior in Penticton. They're called the Penticton Bees. They were in the BCHL at that time. It's just a
Is that British Columbia?
British Columbia, yeah, correct. So it's the British Columbia Junior Hockey League. And yeah, played 2 years there. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and played 4 years there. And fantastic memories. Played with some unbelievable players, and yeah, couldn't be more thankful for that opportunity. And then I played 1 year professional in North America. I signed an AHL deal with Anaheim. Played 1 year there. It was a up and down season for me, not only mentally to try and figure out how to play the professional game and everything that kind of comes along with it, but also had some injuries that year and was out for a substantial amount of time. So yeah, I mean, for me, I knew it would have been difficult to find another contract in North America, and an opportunity opened up to come to Austria with my Austrian citizenship, of course, and then we landed in Linz, Austria, because Linz actually offered me and my brother a contract, 2 year deal to come play in Linz, and for us it was a no brainer to come together and play together. It wasn't our first time, we played a little bit of juniors together, but first time in a long time to play together, and yeah, I mean, our first year we won it together, a championship, and I remember thinking, holy shit, this is pretty fun. I want to do this every year, but it's been a lot of years since. But yeah, and then I played 1 year as well in Germany in Ingolstadt. So, but most of the time I think it's my 14th year now in Linz, and so yeah, so it's been a pretty amazing ride.
I want to move back into North America with the
Yeah,
NCAA and the University of Michigan.
yeah.
Firstly, what did you study?
Oh, not much. No, uh, no. I kind of had a few things in the beginning of my first and second year of different majors and minors I wanted to do, and nothing kept kind of working out for me with time wise and stuff. And I ended up just taking a general studies degree in the end. But so it's nothing too crazy. But yeah, I mean, I got a degree at the end of the day. So
Tell us about the NCAA standard of hockey. I love watching it on
yeah.
live on the internet, and you played in probably one of the most famous buildings in the NCAA, I would say.
Yeah, Yost. Yeah, I mean, I went on a fly down there when I was 17. I was being recruited, and I remember walking into that building thinking this is a pretty cool spot to play with all the brick and everything, and pretty unbelievable facility they had in there. I mean, nowadays you see the facilities on YouTube and the different tours they're given. It's a different world now, but when I was there playing, unbelievable facilities. We had a legendary coach with Red Berenson, and you just looked at all the banners in the building, and you knew this was a winning organization. And for me, coming from from playing most of my, well, yeah, all my career in Canada before that. I didn't know too much about college hockey, only from what my dad told me, and he played at University of Wisconsin. Um, but yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. I couldn't be more thankful for it. We were able to win some games. We were able to go to the Frozen Four one year. And so the amount of experience and friends and everything I made there was pretty special.
You had 1 year professional experience as well in the AHL with I think it was the Syracuse Crunch.
Syracuse Crunch, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me I spent that summer at University of Michigan and training with in their facilities with their trainers and the other pro guys that were turning pro or were pro, prepare myself. And unfortunately, I think it was 2 games into the season, I got a skate across my wrist and lacerated some tendons in my wrist, and I was out till after Christmas. And so it was kind of a tough start. And then from there on, it was just an uphill kind of a battle, trying to find a role in the team and a spot in the team to consistently play after that was difficult, and especially for my first year pro, definitely mentally tough to try and find your way. But that's the way the game is, and that's the way sometimes it shakes out. And no negative feelings towards it. I feel like I learned a lot from that experience. So
you also had a spell with, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Elmira
Jackals, yeah, and the East Coast.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I came back from my injury, and then I was doing a rehab in Syracuse. And once I was cleared to play, I was sent down to Elmira in the East Coast Hockey League to get some games in. Played a little bit down there. Got called back up to Syracuse. Then they weren't going to make the playoffs, and so at the end of the season, I got sent down back to Elmira to play the playoffs there with them.
I like to ask this question a lot. So, as a hockey player coming from juniors, university, now professional, how would you describe yourself as a hockey player then moving over to Austria?
Well, it's funny you ask that question because my dad always told me, if you go over to Europe, you can be the player you want to be. A lot of times in North America, you play in junior hockey, and then you're kind of put into a role, and that role kind of keeps going until you can kind of work your way out of it, right? So I was kind of a bigger body guy, power forward kind of player, and my role was going to be, a third, fourth line player and play physical and fight when I had to, and try and play a tough game and be tough against the opponents. And when I got the opportunity to come over to Austria, my dad said, if you want to be, more of a goal scorer, more of a guy that wants to be in the power play and stuff like that, this is your opportunity to go over there and kind of change the game, your game, and how you want to play your game. You know what I mean? So with that opportunity, you come over here on a kind of a clean slate, and no one really knows how you play or who you are, and so you can kind of redefine your game. So
how did your move to Linz come about? Like, I know you said they offered yourself and your brother a contract, but like, was it like, did you always have interest to go back to Austria to play, or did they approach you out in North America?
No, they approached me through my brother, actually, because I don't have like Facebook or any of that stuff or Instagram. But Mark Sukes reached out from Linz. This is the coach here. Reached out to my brother on Facebook, asking him if he was the brother from Brian Lebler, and so he's like, yeah, I am. But he's like, I also play hockey. So that's how that conversation started. Yeah, I mean, after that season I had in North America with the injuries and not really finding a role to play, and I knew it would be difficult to find a contract. And I knew with my Austrian citizenship, that was an opportunity that I could take advantage of. And so when we initially started to look to go over to Austria, obviously there's Klagenfurt to look and talk to, because my dad played there for many years and stuff like that. But Linz was the team that kind of showed the most enthusiasm, and obviously with giving my brother a contract as well, in the deal that it made it really appealing to us. So
What were your first impressions then moving to Linz?
it's funny because a lot of Austrians say they've never been to Linz, besides if you're doing business here. But everybody talks about how beautiful, Corinth is, or Salzburg, or Grand Vienna is, and all that stuff. And uh, it's funny, we came into Linz and I thought, wow, this is such a European city and so beautiful. And I had nothing to base it off, really. I didn't remember my time in Austria as a child, so for me it was, yeah, super amazing, nice. The hills here, the kind of rolling hills, remind me of Penticton, where I grew up as well. So that was also kind of nice to have that feeling of being back there a little bit in the beginning. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of blown away by everything and kind of surreal because I knew with my dad's career here and him playing professional hockey in Austria for a long time, I knew that wherever my career would go, if I had the opportunity to go back to Austria, it's something I wanted to do. And yeah, I've been here 14 years, so time flies.
What advice would you give to those out there that are trying to make their way in the game? What's the biggest advice that you would take today from that you've learned in your career?
Yeah, I think a young player wanting to play professional, um, maybe you're playing juniors or wherever you are, you have to know your game and what you're good at. I find a lot of players struggle with the beginning of their careers is finding the player they are. And if you can really think about it, and I can use myself as an example, is like I was a big body. I knew I could play physical. I knew I could shoot the puck. I knew I could read the game well. But I also knew I wasn't the fastest skater. I don't have the best hands. And so for me, it was like, okay, what can I do to be the best player on the ice? Is it going to be trying to go end to end and stick handle through everybody? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? But a lot of guys, when they're younger, kind of want to show everybody else and show the coach and to move up, in leagues or in the ranks on the team by doing those things and trying to make highlight plays. When it's like, well, if that's not your game, then don't do it. So my biggest advice is find out who you are as a player, what your game is, what the best things that you can bring to your team, and then do those better than anybody else on the ice. So that would be my kind of advice.
Nice. You've been a captain for many, many years. Have you always been a natural leader, or is this some like a role that you kind of grew into as you grew into hockey?
Um, I mean, that's tough to say for me personally. If I've never shied away from stuff. I guess I've always kind of embraced being the mix of things and stuff like that. I'm usually, I don't know, I'm not like the most social guy or stuff like that, but I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy learning from people. I enjoy sharing experiences with people. I enjoy going to battle with guys on the ice, and I think that uh, you know, I think I don't know if it's my personality or what it is, but for me, I just enjoy it all. I enjoy the locker room, the guys, everything so much, and I know for me that I'd do anything for those guys, and if that is what it is, then it is. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, but for me, I just love the game. I love being around the guys and competing, and I try not to talk too much. I just try and do the things that I think are right, uh, and lead by that way, instead of saying that what needs to be said. I mean, I just try and do what needs to be done at the end of the day.
Are you strict on like diet? Like you're a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I know I've spoke to various athletes over my time. Are you like strict with your diet and training away from the ice?
Um, I've always been strict with my training. I enjoy the gym. I enjoy working out. Um, uh, it's funny. I love the camaraderie of it. And but in the last little while. I've, my workout groups that I've had, have retired, and I'm still playing. So I train a lot by myself now. And it's funny now. My son is 10 years old, so now I drag him along. So he's my new training partner now. But yeah, I think for me, always in my career, I've always enjoyed training and doing this stuff off the ice and working out, and that's something that I've always enjoyed. So it came easy. I would say diet is something I definitely in the last 5 years to 7 years that I've changed, because as you get older, you start realizing what you eat and how you feel. And it's like, I used to eat friggin', I don't know, fettuccine Alfredo and before games and eat 18 pounds of it. But yeah, I think it's just trial and error. And now I know what I eat and how I feel on it. So it's like I feel really good on this stuff. I don't feel good on that stuff. So I stay away from this or that. And I just kind of, it's once you get into routine and of what you kind of eat and cook and stuff, then it's easy to stick by it. But I'm not a guy that sits there and researches or that stuff. It's just been kind of like learned through the years, and I feel in the last however many years that I've just noticed how much more energy I have from eating the right things, and for me, that's if it's going to make me perform better, then it's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question, but
No, that's great. That's more than I expected. Right, let's go into a bit more about Linz then, and your
yeah.
sort of first 4 seasons. Then you won the championship, which is awesome, coming over from North America and winning it with your brother in the first year. How did you feel the hockey standard was? And you're an Austrian international and an Austrian yourself, but you've come from playing juniors in North America, now coming over. What
Mhm.
would you say, having more understanding of the game? What was your thought on the players of Austria?
Yeah, I mean, coming over, I was very pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure what the league was going to be like. Um, I didn't do any research. Just showed up, and I remember the first few practices, I was like, "Holy fuck, these guys are flying around right now. I'm in trouble." But no, I mean, I was kind of blown away. I was like, "Wow, this is good hockey." And then a lot of the imports too in the league were good imports. And I mean, I can't say enough about the league and what they've done and organizations have done, because this league's gotten better and better every year, professional wise. The personnel, like the players that are playing. So, I mean, I've seen it kind of evolve over the last 14, 15 years, and it's definitely gotten better and better and better and more professional. But initially, when I first came over, yeah, it was a lot faster. Obviously, it's a different style of game with the Olympic sheet and a little less physical and stuff like that, but still very physical game, fast game, skilled players. Yeah, I mean, I'm still am today. I'm amazed how many good hockey players there are in this world, because Frank, there's a lot of us all over the place in every different league, because you play Champions League or you play wherever exhibition games against other countries and different clubs, and there's just I mean there's just tremendous hockey players everywhere. So
The Linz Argate Ice Arena, I've been here. I absolutely loved my experience. What was your
nice.
first experience? What was your first game in that arena? And
Well,
what
I'll
did you
go for my
think about
first
it?
experience was uh, we had it was like the first official practice, and it was in the evening when it was for the fans. So it was like, hey, this is our first full practice, their training camp, just for the fans to show up, and then we'll get into the normal routine practice in the morning and stuff. And so, yeah, got on the ice. I think we had probably had 2,000 fans to watch the practice. It was, yeah, bananas. They had smoke flares and fires. I think were burning. I don't know. I remember at one point I looked at my brother, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, I mean, from that day forward, that was like the first seed that was planted of me falling in love with the city and the people here. Um, and uh, and for you to come experience it and the atmosphere is like one of my greatest prides. I love it when people come into the rink or when new guys come to the team and they're just blown away. And for me, I'm like, it's the best feeling. I love it. I love seeing guys get to experience the people of Linz and the rink and the atmosphere, and it makes me really proud to be part of it. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this might come across as a stupid question then. You've been at Linz for 14 years. What does it mean and what does it take to be a Black Wings Linz player?
Well, that's a work in progress for us. I mean, that's something that I think every organization keeps striving to build their identity, and for us, I think the first block of it is just work ethic. And I think it was pretty evident last year of how hard our guys work every day. Never giving up on plays, never giving up on pucks, situations. And I think that's the first block for us as an organization. We aren't a super big organization where we have a lot of money and we can, we have, I don't know, 3 people in the staff in the office, and I don't know how many plus volunteers we have. You know what I mean? And so it's a place where people come to work, and I think that's kind of a little bit from the city itself with the steel plant we have here, and a lot of people are hardworking people, and I think that's kind of how this team has been built over the years. When I first came in here, and then now obviously we have some new people in charge over the last 4 years, but since Phil came in and Peter Natter, our president and stuff, and they've continued that on. Hardworking people, hardworking game, and I think that's why the fans appreciate it so much. Win or lose, if we work our nuts off, they're still going to be appreciated, stand up and cheer, and I think that's probably the main point for us to drive home, and we work at it every day. And I mean, we want to just become more and more professional as an organization, and I've seen that every year, step by step, and it's been fun to see too. It's fun to be part of.
Absolutely. We can't move on without speaking of last season. And you are the overtime club. Like, that's the official title now. The overtime club. That's absolutely incredible. I watched every game of all of your playoffs. I absolutely loved it. And it's just phenomenal to think that you had to go through so much. And also credit to Graz as well, those
Yeah.
boys. It's not just one team, it was
Oh,
2 teams fighting it
oh.
out. And wow. How, like, I just,
Well, that's
please talk about it.
yeah. I mean, that's what I think makes hockey so special is just the wars you go through in the playoffs and to try and get to the next level. And I mean, you see it in North America, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and how much those guys go through. You know what I mean? It's just such a fun, electric sport to watch in playoffs. It's a different game. You know what I mean? It gets the intensity level, the attention to detail. Guys that maybe weren't blocking shots as much are blocking it. It's just like it's a different animal, and to be a part of that playoff we had last season was just tremendous amount of fun. And I mean, I don't know how many times we thought we were down and out, but in the back of our heads, we knew, we are not down and out. You know what I mean? So I think that was one of the most important parts of our season, learning wise, was in those few weeks in playoffs. Like the amount that us as a team and the players and we learned, like just the calm, cool collectiveness. Doesn't matter if you're down by 1. Doesn't matter if you're up by 2. Doesn't matter. Just stick to the same plan. Keep working. Do the things you need to do. Get the job done that you need to get done. You know what I mean? Guys have roles in the team. This is your role. You play this role better than anybody else on the ice. Just going back to this, what I talked about, giving advice to kids. If you know that you are a hell of a PK guy and you block shots, and that's your role, and then during playoffs or in that moment, you bet your mindset is, I'm going to be the best goddamn guy on the ice, blocking shots, penalty killing, and this and that. And I think that we really took a step and we learned a lot during that playoff run there of what we're all capable of, and also what we are capable of if we work together as a unit and we all do our roles and we don't stray from that. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. Was after that, I remember sitting back and being like, shitty, it's over. But I'm like, oh my God, that was a memory to take, and also a learning experience that I think me and the other guys in the locker room that were part of it won't forget, and hopefully we can carry that on. So,
well, that's now is a world record.
yeah, it was getting a little ridiculous. I remember in Klagenfurt for game one, we went to overtime, and I was like, well, yeah, of course it is. I wasn't even surprised. And I don't think anybody was even nervous on the bench too. It was like, well, yeah, it literally became normal for us. It was like, well, it's overtime. It's fine. It's no problem.
I feel rude that we've skipped kind of past your experience in the Dell with Ingolstadt.
Okay, no problem.
How was your time in Germany? And I've always seen the Dell is a very good league.
Mm-hmm.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to go. My reasoning to leave, because I know I had a kind of still had a contract with Linz when I left, and I had an out clause in it where I could leave to a different league. And the decision I made was I just wanted to go and see something else and try something new and have a new experience and see what I could learn. And that was the reason for going. And I couldn't be more thankful to Ingolstadt as an organization, as a city, because I mean they were super professional. Yeah, really nice city. My family loved it. We really enjoyed ourselves there. It was a tough season for us though, because Ingolstadt just got off two seasons before they won the championship. A season before that, they lost in the finals, and then the season that I came in, we didn't even make playoffs. And so I think that was a tough situation to go into, with us struggling so much and the expectations being so high. You know, hockey wise, it was a mentally tough year. You know, there was not a lot of happy faces, you know, after that many losses and struggling and stuff like that. But I still look back at those memories, and I'm very thankful that I always had the opportunity to play there. I learned a ton of stuff actually, from playing in that situation, mentally and everything on how to handle situations. That really, I learned a lot from that year, because it wasn't an easy year. Where a lot of years previous in Linz, we were always, you know, top two, top three in the league. We were always in there and always competing and winning games. And so, I mean, it's easy to have a good time and play loose when you're winning, but it's a different story when you're losing a lot of games. So I definitely learned a lot from that year, with us struggling a little bit and the ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I thought Ingolstadt was a great city, great organization. It's too bad we didn't perform like we should have performed. But in general, the DEL I thought was an unbelievable league. I mean, it's Germany; it's just that much bigger than Austria, right? So you know, yeah, they have that many more fans. Their rinks are a lot bigger. Not all of them, but you know, they have a big chunk of organizations with huge buildings, and they fill out. And yeah, I mean, for me, I always think the DEL's a little bit better league than our league. But I would say the top teams in our league could definitely play and compete in that league. But it's just the depth. They just have more Austrian or more Germans to pick from. You know what I mean? They have a little bit higher budgets to pick to get those Auslanders and stuff. So I would just say it's just a little bit above our league. But I mean, the top teams in our league can definitely compete and play in that league. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was a tremendous experience to go and travel. And I mean, the travel was a little bit worse, a little bigger of a country. We went usually a day ahead before every game and stuff like that. But to see the different ranks and the different organizations and playing against those teams and everything was, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, speaking of rinks, going back to the EBEL era Win2Day ICE Hockey League,
Mm-hmm.
other than, of course, Linz, what is the best rink to play in? Whether that's because you get abuse thrown at you all game and it gives you that motivation to kick their ass, or or you liked a place because the ice was great? Like, what for you like was the best rink? Is the best rink?
Oh, I love playing at Czechoslovakia's old rink. It was, yeah, atmosphere was great. The fans were on top of you. It was sold out every game. The ice was unreal. It was freezing cold in that rink. I know the fans loved it too because I think beers were like 25 cents. So yeah, I would say that rink. I mean, that rink's not in the league anymore, but that was definitely, I loved going to that barn and playing. The drive there was a little rough trying to nap on the bus, and the roads weren't that smooth, and we were bouncing around all the time. But I'd say that rink was probably my favorite one to play in besides ours.
What is the worst rink to play in?
Ooh, the worst rink. Ooh, I mean, Asiago's rink last year was tough to play in because it was a long road trip. You know, they were lower down on the tabella there, and it was a tough rink to mentally get ready for him because it was old rink, no fans in there really. So that was a tough one always to get up for. And I think I would be curious to see look at their home and away record to see what their home and away record were because I think that would be a tough rink for every other team to play. I know it definitely was for us.
What do you think to the addition now with Asiago gone and Budapest in? It's great for you to like make that sort of double header over in Hungary. What do you think of the addition of Budapest? Like, it's a great city anyway, but you probably won't get the chance to really see it when you're playing.
Yeah, we won't be able to go. Probably. I mean, I don't even know if we play there doublehead. I mean, let's see what I haven't looked through my the schedule yet. Yeah, I think for us as a league, it's important to get major cities in the league. You know what I mean? It's going to attract more eyeballs to the league, to ice hockey. It's better for advertisers, for the TV. It's better, you know what I mean? Like, it's a positive thing. I mean, I know there's a lot of hockey heritage in Asiago, and they have a lot of tremendous years they've had. But I think with Budapest now in the league, it's just an absolute massive city. You know, they're going to have how many more people there watching games? You know what I mean? A little bit tuned into our league now. And if we were going to be able to pull some more and more fans over the years out of Budapest, I mean, that's just only something that's going to do is going to help Hungarian ice hockey and the league. So, yeah.
Now I need to move on to the international side of things. You boys in the last World Champs, wow. I feel that you were harshly done by in a couple of things. I don't like to speak controversial, but I will say that. Like, tell me about that experience.
Yeah, I was definitely very proud and still am proud and thankful for that opportunity because 3 World Championships ago was in Tampere. And after that last game against Great Britain, I told all the boys, I said, I'm done playing international hockey. It's time to focus on my family. And because it's a big commitment, you know, it's 2 months after the season longer that you're away from the family, you're doing training camps and you know what I mean? You're not at home. And so actually Linz was hosting the Austrian national team for training camp that week. And we were playing Czech, I believe, home and away. And so I was in the locker room with my son, and we were just going on the ice, doing some individual skills training and stuff like that. And Roger Batter kind of came up to me in the locker room. And I was like, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. What does Roger want to ask me?" But yeah, we talked a little bit, and he said he'd love to have me on the team and join them for the World Championships. And yeah, I was a little bit surprised and that he had asked me. I thought, oh, I'm an old man and I'm done and stuff like that. But he asked me, and so I said yes. I said, yeah. I thought about it quickly, and you know, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, yeah, I gotta go. And a big part of that was walking into the locker room and saw Dominic Heinrich and Dominic Zwerger and in the locker room, and they were all excited to see me, and they were like, "Oh, you on the team? You coming back?" And I was like, "No, I'm not going back," and stuff like that. And then when I went into the office and he asked me, I kind of like thought about those guys all excited asking me, and then it kind of made me think of the other guys in the team that I'd be playing with, and you know, you get to play against a lot of those guys, but it's not too often you get to play with them, and all tremendous guys, and I was like, I'm gonna go and I'll play, and yeah, I couldn't be happier I made that decision and thankful for the opportunity. So
Let's mention Dominic Heinrich there. Like, what a career he's had, and congratulations to Dominic on a fantastic career in his retirement from the game.
I mean, the thing about Dominic is, aside from him being such a great hockey player, he's a great human being, and I think that's why everywhere he's went or wherever he's played, every teammate that's played with him has nothing but good things to say about him. And he's an unbelievable person, and he's a blast. And I'm just thankful I got to play with him a little bit in Salzburg in the national team. And I know wherever he goes and does, now after his career, he's going to be successful at it because that's just kind of person he is. So.
To the world champs and say, like, as it's still kind of fresh, who was the best you played against? Such great teams, such great players. Like,
Yeah.
who was the best player that you played against?
I mean, for me, it was McKinnon. It was just like,
oh,
you're out there and you can, I mean, there is a big difference in skill level. You know what I mean? Like, we can hang in there, we can play, we can compete. You know what I mean? We can put pressure on the guys. But that's one guy where it was like, holy, he made the other guys look like they were at our level. You know what I mean? Like, he looked so quick, his control of the puck, his decision making. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was a fear factor every time he was on the ice. If you're on the ice, you're like, what? But no, I mean, his presence on the ice and what he could do. I mean, was fun to be competing against him. Maybe all the time it was fun, but most of the time it was fun. Getting stuck in the D zone maybe a little too long a few times, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he was. Yeah, I thought he was just that much better than everybody. I mean, and doesn't. It's tough to say, right? Because it's just his speed and his puck handling skills, and you know what I mean. Like, other guys do a ton of other things that you don't necessarily see, right? But what he does, you see and you notice right away. So, I mean, for me, that's something and a player that I was like, he's that good.
What has been your favorite memory then from representing Austria?
Oh, I mean, for me, I have had unbelievable experiences actually over my 8 years. I think 8 years or so that I played. Um, got to go to the Olympics. I got to go to South Korea. Been to Russia a few times. Been I don't know, all over Europe. You know what I mean? And playing against some of the best players in the world and competing with your buddies and wearing that jersey. I mean, the whole thing has just been a dream come true, really. You know, because my dad played national team as well. He played 2 Olympics, and you know, he talks about stories a little bit sometimes and his experiences and stuff like that. And I mean, it's tough to point one out, but I think it's mostly the guys, really. You know what I mean? Like, I love being with the guys in the locker room and going out to dinner somewhere or wherever. It's just an experience that you don't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just funny because you look back at the years when my dad played and you look at the years now where I've played and stuff, and a lot of the names are the same. You know, like my dad played with Petrick and with Raffle and with, you know what I mean? Like, you go on and on, and it's like, you laugh because it's like, you know, 25, 30 years ago, our dads are doing the same thing we're doing now. You know what I mean? Like, and Austrian hockey is a small world. Hockey in general is a small world, but Austrian hockey is even smaller. And I just always found that really kind of fun and interesting. You know, that the next generation, and let's see if the one after that, if it's the same names playing.
Small connected world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hockey in general. It's funny because, like, you don't want to burn bridges in hockey, and you don't want to, you know, make a bad name for yourself, and you know, I mean, be a bad teammate, because it sticks with you. I mean, everybody knows everybody in this game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many guys are here on Linz that have played in how many different organizations and teams over their career, and with those guys who they play with, it's just 1 or 2 phone calls, and you can connect with basically anybody that's played hockey. And so, I mean, it's a small world, and I think that's why it's so easy to find good guys, because guys treat each other right, and are all grounded and down to earth. And I think the guys that aren't like that are weeded out pretty quick.
One thing I have forgot is to mention your brief loan spell with Salzburg and the Red
Yes.
Bull Salzburg,
Yeah.
and you also won the playoffs. Like, tell us about that experience.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of Salzburg and Red Bull and that organization. I know we're enemies, and it's fun to go toe to toe with those guys every game. No matter if it's in Linz or if it's in Salzburg. But utmost respect for that organization and that club and that team, what they do. But for me, going there, I was a little bit unsure how it would be. I know 80% of the guys on the team just from playing against them or playing with them on the national team. So for me, that wasn't going to be an issue at all. I slipped right into that team pretty quickly. Knowing all those guys and playing with them or against them for so many years. But I was surprised at how quickly and amazing the organization was at making me feel comfortable and part of that club. And I couldn't be more thankful for that. And there's so many guys working within that organization that make that happen, right? And Helly is there, and Rudy and all those guys, and it's an amazing group that they have there, and it's not a surprise why they're so successful. But I mean, for me, it was another unbelievable learning experience as well. And I think every game, going into every game, we just knew we were going to win. It wasn't like nothing was said. It was the group we had and the team we had and how we played. Even if we were down by one goal, I don't know how many times in the playoffs, maybe 2 or 3 times we were down by one goal with like a minute left or something. And on the bench, there was no panic. It was like, well, somebody on this bench is going to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, it was just that common. Yeah, like it's just that. I don't know. You can ask Ty about it too. Like, it's just like everybody knew that we were going to get the job done. Might take 59 minutes, but we'll get it done. You know what I mean? And it's just that like quiet confidence and stuff that whole team had, and that's something that I really learned from that organization and that team playing there, was just the confidence and the way they played, and knowing that they were going to get it done because everybody did their roles and did their part they had to play. And I think that was a big part of last year in the playoffs. I mean, I think we really had a similar feeling too, right? Like, everybody's going to play their roles. There was no panic. There was no, okay, we're down by 2 goals. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're going to keep working, keep doing our things. And so, I'd say it kind of reminded me a little bit of that season too. That just that feeling, like that confidence within the team and amongst each other of everybody's going to do their job. And it's a really cool feeling to have. It's not many teams you have it on, and I've had it on a few teams now, and when you have it, it's special, and you don't want to blow it. You know what I mean? You don't want that to be a year where you're like, oh, we had that team, we had that feeling, we had that, like, that could have been our year, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? And guys know when they have those years, and when the groups have those years, because usually that group is pretty tight and they stay in contact with each other. So it's like anything in life, you go through all your different experiences and stuff like that, and you just try and learn as much as you can and take everything with you for the next one.
Wow, Ty himself spoke so highly of his time with the Red Bull organization as well. It's a shame he couldn't make this one. Let's end this with a few sort of cheesy questions as such.
Sure.
Are you superstitious? Do you have any pre-game superstitions?
No, I've never been superstitious. I don't know. I maybe a little bit. Like I do some things repetitively, but it's because it's like with another guy or something. Like in warm-ups or something, you say something to somebody or you shoot a puck in a certain spot at somebody, and it kind of becomes a joke, and so you do it. But I don't. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't matter. But there's a few things that, yeah, like one thing would be example is Marco Brooker, played with him for a long time at Linz, and always 45 minutes before the game, we'd always have an energy drink, and we'd always crack it and look at each other and crack it. And so I still do it, but it's just like, it's funny in the locker room now because the guys all know, like, oh yeah, cheers and Marco, eh? Like, because it's just like something that me and him did, and we always had a good laugh, or different things like, yeah, me and Chrysler before the last warm up drill in warm ups, like we do something stupid, like, but it's more just the camaraderie and fun things with guys. But I don't have a superstition or anything like that. It's more just having fun and keeping light. You got to stay light and have fun, because otherwise, you know, you're not going to perform out there. Is my philosophy. You got to have fun while you're playing.
Speaking of fun, who is the funniest guy that you've come across in hockey?
Ooh, there's been a lot of there's a lot of funny guys. Oh man, it's too hard to say. There's just,
Okay, let's shorten that. Let's keep it to Linz, and let's say who's the funniest guy in the locker room at Linz.
right now.
Yeah.
I find Chrysler hilarious. I find Pushnik hilarious. Uh, yeah, but I mean, to go back like to who I played with, I mean, Shane O'Brien was funny as hell, but it's because he had so many stories. You know what I mean? Like, he had so many experiences and stories that, like, we were just dying laughing on the bus because he would just be telling stories of his experiences and where he played and all this stuff. Like, but he was a pretty funny guy. But I'm just trying to, yeah. I'd say, I don't know. Chris always makes me laugh. I always get a smile. He always makes me smile.
Okay, favorite Austrian food and favorite food in North America.
Ooh, okay. I will say I do like the food here in Austria better than North America. I know a lot of people that come up from North America have a lot of places that, like, oh, I miss this place. I can't wait to after the off season to go back. But I've been here so long that, like, I don't miss those places anymore. But yeah, I do like a good Schweinsbraten. I don't eat it very often, but a good Schweinsbraten, and it's got to be crispy. I do like that. That's something I do like. And in North America, but everything you can get in North America, like, you get here, I guess. I like going for sushi or something like that.
What's your favorite? What's your go-to music?
Go-to music is probably country, but it's just because
Oh
it was the
yeah,
summer. So like summer, it was nice out. It's only country music, so I'll say that.
seasonal way.
Yeah, I'm a seasonal guy.
And why the number 7?
It's a good question. I honestly don't know.
Oh wow.
I I wore it in minor hockey as a kid, and I don't remember why I decided to wear it. Only thing I could maybe think of was maybe Cliff Ronning wore number 7 for the Vancouver Canucks because I was a Canucks fan. But I don't remember if that was the reason or what. But yeah, always wore it. I mean, there's a few seasons where I didn't wear it, like in college and stuff. In my first year in North America playing pro. But yeah, it was always kind of like my number. No reason.
Nice. That was absolutely incredible. I enjoyed that very much. Thank you so much for your time, Brian, and I wish you all the very best to you and the boys for the season ahead.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.